Watch these people. And you guys tell me if you want to be aligned with these people. I don't understand. I don't understand. I would never want to walk down the street with no dude acting like this. I'm sorry. I just would not.
Piss on your ashes. Spit on your grave. I'll never be a slave. I'll never be a slave.
Now, I'm trying to figure out who is a slave today in 2025 in America. Now, you might be able to have an argument if you say over in Africa, over in, Middle Eastern countries, Saudi Arabia and places like that where they still have Africans as slaves. But in America, this black man is walking down the street talking about how much he hates this country. But if he went to another country and did this, they probably would chop his head off, bury him alive, or he'll be shot by firing squad. But nonetheless, he's free to walk down the street doing this, but somehow he's saying that he never wants to be a slave. Who in America right now is being a slave? Who? I mean, I hear this all the time. Who is the slaves here? It could be the people that's on social services that won't work. Who else is a slave? It could be the ninjas in the hoods shooting other black people. It could be them. Who else is slaves? It could be the people that loot, businesses of hard-working Americans. It could be them. But nobody else is a slave. If you're not dependent on the government, you're not a slave. You might be a slave if you work for the government. This makes no sense. I really wish that people would stay in 2025 and come out of the Jim Crow era. Come out of slavery days. And look at your life right now, today, in this moment, and the opportunities that you have here. Someone said too that they come from another country and it's really is a fascist government and it really is terrible to live there. And that person, an American person, was like, oh, America, this, that, and the third, and all this, we hate it or whatever. And that guy was like, well, at least, you live here. If America falls apart, where will you go? Because the rest of the world is not like America. All of these freedoms we have here, if America gets effed up, where will we go? All of these foreigners come here to escape their tyrannical governments. Where are we going to go? And I really thought about that. Nowhere. So all of the people that walking around burning flags, go somewhere else that you think is better if you could find somewhere that you could carry on and act like that. Because I guarantee you their government is probably worse anywhere else you would pick on earth. And I would love to see this behavior in one of these places that you think is so much better. Just watch these people.
I'll never be a slave. Charlie Kirk. Racist bastard. Piss on your ashes.
He's calling him a racist bastard. He's going to piss on his ashes. If you don't like somebody, he's never going to have the opportunity to piss on his ashes because he wasn't cremated, so he sounds dumb. He's never going to be let nowhere around Charlie's body to do any of these things, and it's just ignorance. If you don't like somebody and you don't subscribe to them, don't watch it. There's so many ideologies in liberalism that I just don't subscribe to, but I don't want to kill them. I don't want to wish them any harm. I just don't subscribe to it. I can work with you. I can do business with you. I can do everything. I just won't go do what you're doing. If you don't like transgender people, don't become one. That's all it is. If you don't like black people, you don't have to worry because you'll never be one. If you don't like gays, don't be gay. That's just how it is. If I don't like liberalism and I don't like liberals and they get on my damn nerves, I just try to avoid them at all costs. When they have these super liberal discussions at work and stuff, I just be quiet. Unless somebody's being insulting or rude or directly talking to me with some bullshit. Other than that, I don't care what you think. Why would I just ask this all the time? Why would anybody want to align themselves and their children with these angry, evil, diabolical acting people?
Piss on your ashes. Spit on your grave. I'll never be a slave. Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk. Racist bastard. Piss on your ashes.
Now, to me, these people are so inarticulate. I talk to a lot of them and they're just very inarticulate. They don't know how to use their words, so they curse you out. They get mad. They call you all these names and stuff. Like, conservative people have not heard these names for eons. It's so dumb. How they move is so dumb, and more people want to leave because they just look stupid. It's ignorant.
Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk.
And look how sparse this group is. Nobody wants to be aligned with these people no more. Nobody. Wake up and get your priorities straight. Stop avoiding people that don't think like you and talk to them. And you will see that they are a human being just like you and just trying to live and survive and get the best out of life. I honestly don't really trust any political party. However, I live here and my child is going to be living here after I'm dead or whatever. And I just picked the party that aligns with my, my interests and the things that matter to me. I do not align with almost no liberal ideologies. I just don't. I would rather die than become a slave. So that's not an issue to me. I don't feel like I'm enslaved. I don't feel like nobody's holding me back. I will knock down the door of anybody holding me back. I've been told no for almost everything that I've done in life. But I wanted to do it. So I did it. I found my way around the obstacles. When somebody else tells me no, I don't say, oh, okay. Okay. I wanted to be a model. They told me I was too short and I was too fat. Even though I wasn't really fat, I was the average size of a woman in America. It's like size 10, 12. I went to the agencies. They all told me no. But I did ask them, what does it take? What do I need to do? I did what they told me to do. And I came back and mostly all the agencies that I went to wanted to take me. And I got in a couple magazines, did a couple catalogs. I've even done commercials. I still do work every now and then. People paid me for my looks when I was teased all growing up. Did I let that stop me? No. When I left to come to New York, people told me, oh, you'll be back in 2 years. 30 years later, I've been in New York than anywhere I've ever lived, even my home state. I consider New York my home. I love New York, even though I had to leave because it was just getting tyrannical and I moved to New Jersey. But I still work in New York every day. I love New York. My heart is always going to be with New York. And Philadelphia, where I'm from. And California, where I live sometime, but it's been a long time. I'm a little disconnected from California. But I say all that to say that nobody can stop you unless you want to be stopped. So this mentality, I don't subscribe to it, and I don't teach my son that. I tell my son you can do anything and be anything. You could be Michael Jordan if you want to, if you put in the hard work. You could be anybody you want to be. You got to do the work. Genesis L, hi, how are you? Hi. So let's just watch the rest of these fools. I mean, this to me, they annoy me because they look like me and they're embarrassing. They're embarrassing. And I know that majority of Black people do not subscribe to this. Hi, Genesis L says, I miss you, East Coast. Where are you? I love the East Coast. I've lived other places, but I just love the East Coast. I like the seasons to change. I like the fashion. I like the surrounding cities and stuff like that. Okay, he's in Cornell. I don't even know where that's at. Where's that? Genesis. So yeah, I love the East Coast. I like to see the seasons change. Oh, Detroit. Okay, I've never even seen it. I've never even been to Detroit. So what's it like there? Do you want the National Guard to come to Detroit, Genesis L?
Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk. You guys gotta get on Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk.
You see, this is in New York. This is why I had to go. Because New York, he says no, he doesn't want the National Guard to come to Detroit. This is why I had to leave New York, because it's just too leftist and too tyrannical. The policies, the people are crazy. Hi, he says, I wish I could come your way. Are you single? I don't like to answer that question. But I had to leave New York because it just got too crazy. The COVID policies were crazy. The vaccine mandates were crazy. It was just too much for me, and I had to go. And I went to New Jersey, where you can do religious exemptions from the poisons and the poisonous people, because people, I don't know. New York is just not what it was when I first moved there. It's, Genesis, you can inbox me, okay?
Charlie Kirk! Charlie Kirk! Charlie Kirk! He was a racist! He was a racist! He was a racist! He was a racist! He was hateful! He was hateful!
Not any more hateful than these people. I've never seen Charlie act like this, and I've been watching Charlie debate for years. For years. I've watched a lot of people debate, and he was one of my favorites, and I watched him a lot. And I've never seen him carrying on like these people, cursing people out, acting ignorant. I mean, I feel like he had very hardcore Christian values, and he was 10 toes down in how he felt. Just like people that are gay are 10 toes down, Black people are 10 toes down, trans people are 10 toes down. But for some reason, if you're a Christian or you're a conservative, they want to convert you or something. You're hated for that. No one, I mean, I don't hate anybody. I want everybody to live their life how they choose to live and leave me the fuck alone. That's what I would like. You know what I mean? I would like to not be attacked or threatened death on me because I don't agree with your liberal ideas. But that's what they do. That's what they do. Ever since I said, oh, I was a fan of Charlie, I like Charlie, and I never thought he was racist, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I've gotten so much hateful ass people. Only on Facebook, though. Only on Facebook do I get the hateful people to come on there and threaten me, tell me they hope I get shot, they hope I die. Like, this is the stuff they say to you because they're inarticulate, I feel like demon-possessed people. Because why would you wish death on somebody? Just because they don't agree with what you're saying or because they're telling you something and you can't dispute it. So then you're going to get mad.
He was nothing like Martin Luther King.
Okay, now this is a ninja that knows nothing, because Martin Luther King was a Republican. Okay, let's start there. A lot of people do not like to hear this, but during the period, a lot of people did not like Martin Luther King and did not subscribe to him because they thought that he got very political and left God out of the equation. and his so-called Christian values out of the equation, and they felt that he sold black people out to the Democrats. Okay? A lot of people didn't like Martin Luther King. And that may very well be why he's so honored all the time. Because he was doing, the work of, luring the black people onto the enemy side. And black people have not been right ever since. Ever since aligning with liberals, the community has just gone downhill for there. We've lost everything that we've owned. For whatever reason, when they didn't want us in their society, we had our own schools, we had our own everything. Own hospitals, own everything. And then when we integrated, and they gave us the 1964 Civil Rights Act, we thought we got something. Lyndon B. Johnson said he'll have these ninjas voting Democrat for the next 100 years with that hoodwink, and it worked. And we just blind faith followers ever since, and we've got nothing out of it, and we've lost everything, and the community is in shambles, but nobody wants to talk about that. Genesis is asking, can you interview me? I beat my own case by the grace of God without a lawyer in front of a jury. Oh, I would love to hear more about that, Genesis. I would really love to hear more about that. That's amazing. He said he beat the case July 16th, 2024. Are you a Moore? Because I know a lot of them are really good legally and they win a lot of their cases without lawyers. Hey, you always need people that know the law. That's great if you beat your case. I know another friend that was a Moore that beat his case. I forget what it was for. Okay, Genesis, I will look at that. He said he is a Moore. See, that's awesome, right? So, and Moors are sovereign citizens. I think all black people should be that. We need to work towards that. And I was talking to my son today, and we were in a store, and I noticed that everybody that worked in the store was all, Latinos. And I said to my son, I said, see that? Whoever owns this store or is in charge of hiring hires their people. I said, that is why we need to have our own stores and our own everything so we can give our people a job and we can hire people that, that look like us. I ain't mad at them because they're in a position to do that, but we need to be able to do the same thing.
Nothing at all.
One thing I'm happy to say, it used to be a time when these people would come out and they would be thick, they would be deep. Now you can see it's sparse. More and more people are not subscribing to it anymore, and they're over it. Okay, so I'm glad to see this.
For slavery, justice for slavery, justice for slavery, justice for slavery, justice for slavery. It's amazing. It's amazing. Did they police speech? They police my speech. They police my speech. Police follow me around. Police follow me around. They follow Reggie around.
Maybe they're following you because you're outside hollering, screaming like a lunatic, and cursing, walking down the street with a small group of people like a fool. And nobody has censored people more than liberals. I just saw one where Facebook and all of the social medias admitted that they were censoring, about the vaccine, about the elections. They censored conservatives. Nobody censored worse than liberals and Democrats. So, what is he talking about? Liberal people are free to say and do anything. They're even free to kill people and get support in doing so. So what is he talking about? Genesis L says a real Moore. You have a lot of fakes. Not all. No, we all are sovereign Americans per Julia versus Grimmie, U.S. Supreme Court. I mean, I think that's great. I feel like all black people should be sovereign citizens. I think every black person should be. But we're not. That's a discussion that I would like to have. So we'll talk about it at some point. He says, I use all and know all laws. Well, that's amazing if you defend yourself in court and win, They
want to police us. They want to police us for speaking for freedom. But people can spread hate. and get national holidays. That's why.
Okay, thank you, Lynn.
I can't stand the police. They follow Martin Luther King Jr.
Let me tell you something. The police, I don't have a problem with the police. I have a problem with somebody running up on me and snatching my phone out my hand, snatching my earrings out my ear. I have problems with people like this disturbing the peace outside, hollering and just making a scene and just cursing and acting stupid. I mean, give me a break. Give me a break.
Yeah. They helped kill Malcolm X. But they protect people who hate us.
Okay, but wasn't there other black people involved in killing Malcolm X and Martin Luther King? See, one thing about us as black people, we always leave out the problems with our community and we don't take accountability for anything wrong in the community that goes wrong. And I hate that because I don't understand why we can't take accountability. Just like Charlie said, get rid of the people in your community that's causing the problem, the rappers, the thugs, and people like that. Don't let your children subscribe to that. Stop killing your babies. A racist would never tell you to not abort your babies. The leftists and Democrats, that's all they talk about is abortion. They know black people kill their babies the most. That is the biggest form of genocide. That's the biggest leading cause of death for black people is abortion. And they're the ones telling you to do it. They're the ones that are making it free for you to kill your baby, all that stuff. Somebody like Charlie was like, stop killing your babies, raise your babies, stay together, create strong families, and get rid of these ninjas in your community that's ruining it and making it unsafe for you to live. What is wrong with that? That is not racist. That is facts. That's facts. They're somewhere using your aborted baby stem cells and melanin and getting money for it. And you're falling for this stupid narrative that it's a good thing for you. When you could either just be celibate or, not, birth control is, abortion is not a form of birth control. And you have to really look at it if it's really why we are the ones that do it the most. And why you would align with people that want you to do that. And if somebody like Charlie is like, don't kill your babies. A racist person would not tell you to not abort your babies. They would tell you to do it. That's the easiest way to get rid of everybody. Why would a racist person tell you to get rid of the worst people in your community? Stop subscribing to them. Make these rappers broke. Get rid of them. You understand? Get rid of these dumb strippers and ignoramuses like this that speak for us that are ignorant. Don't send your kids to these stupid leftist schools and stuff like that where they hate you. That's a sure way to be a slave if you letting somebody educate your kids that don't like them. I have to make sure my son learns what I want him to learn. And anything that school teaches him that I don't like, I deprogram it from him. And now my son, I've raised him where he knows the game and he knows when he's being propagandized. And just thank God I got him out of New York in them schools and stuff because they're just too crazy. Those schools are too crazy. And I had to get my child out of there. Now I feel like I live in a little bit more conservative counties and stuff like that. And they're not subscribing to that stuff and they're not going for it. There's a lot of conservative people, a lot of Muslim people that damn sure ain't subscribing to none of this mess. And it's just been better across the board.
The medical said there's no foul play. The medical said there's no foul play. Bullshit. Mississippi is racist. They got racist doctors. They got racist judges.
Okay, this is the thing. We live in America where it's people from all over the freaking world. And I feel like everybody hates black people because of the way some black people be carrying on. A lot of people be scared of black people because of the way these YNs be carrying on and stuff like that, So it's not just white people. You always making it like black, white, black, white, black. It don't have nothing to do with that. There's righteous people, there's unrighteous people, there's evil people, and there's godly people. You know what I mean? That's it. I don't care what race or color you are. I keep saying this over and over. So people like this are lying to you. The devil is a liar. It doesn't have nothing to do with white, black. Like black and white people are the only people in this country. I get so tired of hearing that. That is the slave mentality. These people just remind me of when slavery was over and they told the slaves you're free and you could go. And some grabbed their shit and ran off the plantation and never came back. And then there were those that stayed on the plantation. They didn't think they could make it. They didn't know what to do. And they stayed on the plantation and they kept working for nothing. This is the slave mentality. This is what these people make me think of every time I see them and they're complaining that somebody's holding them back. They're the only thing that's getting in their way.
Racist cops. They got racist cops.
That has to be the most annoying shit.
Exactly.